time to heal and feel, be real. You just gotta take your time, unwind and chill. Cause now it's time to love yourself. Build emotional and mental health. Cause Black woman, it's time to heal and feel, be real.
Hey y'all, we are back with another episode of Black Women Healing Podcast, and today I'm going to be leading the episode and Donika will be co-leading it, meaning she's going to lean into the conversation. So I'm going to jump right on in. We are not doing a this or that, but we're going to be talking about the impacts of people and shows that we're consuming and how they impact us. And so the reason why I chose this is because Donika loves Ayana Von Zant, like her books and things like that. And so, as I've mentioned multiple times, and as she's mentioned multiple times, she loves the books. I have my feelings about the lady, but I've grown to love her, y'all. And I say that because not even the books. I have been reading her books, but she has a podcast called The R Spot, and it's so freaking good. Like, I feel like I want to listen to it morning, noon, and night. It is such a good podcast. And so I kick it off with her because it makes me think about when I would watch her as a kid on TV, and I would get these icky feelings. And my mom would just still be watching. I'd be like, oh my gosh, like this is making me feel horrible just watching her. And now thinking about who she is and her podcast, I have really good feelings from her. The things that she talks about are very relatable. They make you feel good. And so today I'm going to be bringing up different podcasts and shows that I've been interacting with and just seeing Donika's thoughts on it, because the things that I'm going to bring up are shows that, may appear on Instagram, TikTok, and things like that. So before we even fully jump in, I'll let Donika share how she feels about Ayana and if she has any experience with her podcast.
Yay, I like this topic. I'm glad. I'm glad that you didn't tell me. This is good. Okay, so obviously I listen to the R Spot every week. Anytime she releases an episode, I've listened to all of them. And so absolutely love it. I think about that podcast specifically, what I love is the callers. So sometimes she will take callers and it'll be regular people, real life, asking questions. And I think, like, for me, I grow from like personable, relatable conversations. I love hearing real life, regular people's stories, right? Not just celebrities, not just people who are like, of certain status and all that, like all different types of people. So that's my favorite part of it. Just to, just to hear like so many people going through different things. It always is one of those like, okay, I know I'm not alone. Life really is like everybody's going through all these different pieces, and to hear the different perspectives. And this is what I always say about Iyama. If you listen to her, and this is for anybody, not just her, be okay with not having to take everything that they say and run with it. Like, just because that's what it is. Iyama, sometimes she'll say some stuff to be like, why are you telling them people that? That's not good advice. But that's from her perspective. That's what she thinks that people should do. And so you have to have a good level of discernment or separation, because she's going to say a lot of good things. And then every now and then she'll say something that'll be like, that's not good. But if you don't understand what's good for you, then it may be muddled, basically. So go in with like I know some things about myself, but I'm listening to this podcast to continue to grow. Yeah. Does that make Myra, has that happened to you where you'd be like, hold on, y'all, calm down. Why would you tell these people that?
No, I
That
can't say that. No, because, and again, this goes back to how I've developed my liking for her now, because I feel like on the show, I don't know if it's because it's like theatrics or she has to put something on, but when I will watch her show, I'm like, I don't agree with none of this. What are you making them do? What? No. Like, I would sit there like, no, like, how are we watching this? And we watching this together? No. But on her podcast, what I really like is that she may say something that doesn't fit with you, but the question that she asks you that leads up to it is where I always stay. Like, she always asks a question or state something that pushes you to think further. I think that she has a lot of self-awareness, and she's trying to really just use her experience for impact of people. And I think that when she asks questions or when she says stuff, my mind automatically goes, so what has she told us about herself? She's told us that she's been with a married man, she's had failed relationships, she's felt like she's lived in her masculinity. So that's where that's coming from. So I think because I go in with it that way, I kind of challenge myself to say, what is she trying to say? Like, where is this coming from? So I'm loving it. It's actually helped me and my mom to bond a little bit, because some of the episodes, I'm like, my mom needs to hear this. So I sent them to her. And so yesterday we went on like a long drive and we were listening to the podcast. And my mom's like, And usually when it comes to podcasts, my mom be like, what are they talking about now? But for the first time, she was like, wow, this is actually really good. So I don't know. I haven't heard nothing I don't like. And I'll be going through these episodes back to back. Like, I'm addicted to them.
That is so amazing, and beautiful to hear. But I think it's because of what you said. You have the awareness to be able to look at that. Everybody doesn't, and so that's the difference. Of like you just saying, she's pulling from her personal experiences. Like you saying, being able to stay with those questions and stuff like that. So that's just my encouragement, because I share it with my clients all the time, and I just say, listen to it with the open ear. Like, don't take every single thing and you have to like, oh yeah, I have to do this now. Like, no. But like, examine it. Now you're making me think, because listening to podcasts with another person, I've actually never done that intentionally. What's that life like?
It's cool depending on the podcast. So me and my partner, Isaac, we used to listen to a lot of crime podcasts together, and that was like our thing. And so he'd be like, you can't cheat and like skip ahead and be listening to the podcast without me. So that was like a fun thing that like we had going for a little minute. We've shifted into different podcasts, like different crime podcasts. So that's been fun. I think naturally when you get into my car, I'm usually listening to a podcast. I usually listen to books oftentimes when I drive, but I don't like people listening to my books with me. It's something like too intimate about that. But the podcasts, they're usually in my car and people be like, oh, what is this? And like we'll listen together and things like that. So I think it just depends on what's like being played. Speaking of podcasts and impact, I really used to like Jill Scott's podcast when she had it. And I'll never forget this one time they were talking about moms and the impact of moms. And my mom was like, do you feel that way about me? How are you thinking about that? And so I think that it's a good way to spark other conversations if you're really intentionally listening to it. I don't like listening to it with people that be asking a million questions. Who is this talking? What they talking about? Why they talk like that? Like one time I was listening and my dad was like, where are they from talking with that accent? I can't focus on my podcast if you ask me all these questions. But it's fun.
That is hilarious. Yeah. No, I think that's amazing though, that you and your mom have been able to connect over it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do I want to connect with some new people, or even my parents or people over podcasts?
Yeah. I've connected with a lot of people through listening to Ear Hustle. I don't know what it is about that podcast, but
you know that's my stuff.
People love. Wait, you introduced me to it.
I remember. Yeah. And I remember you was unsure about it too. You was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like that. I was telling you what it was about. You was like, and then you got hooked.
Look, every time I tell people about it, they have the same response that I had. I haven't listened to it in a little minute because they had like a few breaks here and there, and they've gotten so much money now. They're like on a world tour, so their podcast goals actually too. But yeah, I love Ear Hustle. But I want to shift and I want to talk about YouTube shows. So I only watch like 4 consistent things on YouTube. I watched the Pop the Balloon show, of course. I'm addicted to that show. Yes, the one that's in Arizona.
You watched that?
I watch it every time it come out. So we're gonna talk about that. Don't judge me. But I watch Pop the Balloon. And y'all, it's on Spotify. Like they've made it into a podcast like how we have, where you could watch it on Spotify and listen on Spotify. So they getting a little coin. I'm not mad at Arlette. Get your money, girl. So I watched that. I watched De'Ara. I don't know if y'all familiar, but De'Ara used to date Ken. They broke up, but De'Ara, I absolutely love her. The Blvd glasses, that's my girl. And then I watched Architectural Digest because I really, really love that. And then I watch Hoorah Media, which is basically Issa Rae's channel. So she uploads short movies every Sunday, which I usually like have my Film Scholar girls watch. So those are the things I watch pretty consistently. And so again, talking about the impacts of what we're consuming, when I think about the era, I'm not really into influencers. She's probably like the only one I keep up with and follow, and that's only because like she actually like loves women. Like she's a girl's girl, and I love that about her, and I just love seeing her build her life from the ground up. Like she literally just built her whole new house, and she's under 30, so I really love her. But Donika, I don't know if you keep up with any influencers, so I'm wondering, do you?
No.
Not at
I'm,
all.
I'm no. I'm laughing. No, I'm laughing because I don't even know any of those. Like I also don't. I don't watch any. My mom said this to me the other day. She said, I said, I'm gonna go ahead and chill out, watch my little shows for the day. She said, girl, you do not watch TV. And I said, yes, I do. And you making me think. I don't watch, because even like these YouTube little short, I don't watch a lot of stuff. But I do, but I don't. I'll explain later. But sticking to this right now, I don't watch any YouTube series. The De'Ara, the De'Ara Ken thing. I don't even know what that person looks like, but I have heard that name. I have.
Let
I've
me.
heard. I know. I have heard the name, and the Hoorah Issa Rae. I for sure have seen at least one short. And to be honest, you might have sent it to me, somebody. And it was a long time ago, but I do remember seeing like a mini episode, yeah, that she released. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch these all the time, every time, but then I didn't. Um, yeah. What else? The other ones, none of them. Um,
Wow. So, y'all, I don't watch YouTube shorts. That is definitely not my thing. I feel like that's for the newer generation who has a shorter attention span.
that's
Um,
what I watch. Those like the reels, like that's what I watch. Yes. I watch I watch those little things, but it's not celebrities or influencers, it's more like everyday people.
yeah, it
Like
is.
I watch a lot of like shorts on like food and stuff. I'm always looking for and thinking of like
Ah,
easy
okay.
recipes.
Mhm.
Uh sometimes I will get to the rabbit hole of like cleaning supply. Like it's very
Yeah,
adult types of reels. It's not, I can't explain it.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. So I want to talk about Pop the Balloon. Like I listed some of the things that I watch. Hoorah Media, I feel like all the things that they put out, it pushes you to be creative, or it usually has some type of goal in mind of how it's trying to push you to think. So I won't continue to talk about that. And Architectural Digest, I'm just nosy. I like to see celebrities' houses. I love California style homes. So I'm always looking into like what new California style home, like the Adobe, the Casa style, the arches. I love that type of stuff. So that's what keeps me wheeled in. But when it comes to this Pop the Balloon and the impacts on how you think about yourself, y'all. So the most recent episode, this guy comes out, instantly balloons pop, 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 right? And there's one girl who did not pop him. But let me tell y'all what blew my mind. Because it was something about this man. His outfit was kind of funky. Like it wasn't like ugly, but he like tucked in his clothes a certain way. It looked kind of funny. And I feel like that's why they popped. And I don't think he was like unattractive, but whatever. So all these ladies popped except for one lady because she was like, I want to hear what this man is talking about. Y'all, this man is on tour for his new PBS show for kids to teach them about medicine. And all the women were like,
Oh, and they was pop,
what
pop,
did I
pop.
just do? Like, I messed up, right? So then he starts sharing more and more. He's emotionally intelligent. He's extremely smart. He went to school to be a doctor. He also is in film production. Hence, he has a deal with PBS. Now the man like appears on my timeline on this world tour. Like he did not make this up. World traveler, just great. And so the girl was like, I'm so happy I didn't pop my balloon because that's my man. And so
Oh,
it was making me think about like, you could be this brilliant person, but people don't see that when they first meet you. And you're deciding to go on a show where people are popping because it's rounds, right? Like you got to start off with popping based off
it's
of what you
round.
see. It's rounds.
I've never
So
seen the whole thing.
when I
Oh
say
wow.
round, the person comes out and then you look at them and you decide, okay, am I attracted to them? If I'm not, I'm going to pop. If nobody pops, then they have to pop 2 people that they're not attracted to off the bat. So you got to say, like, I don't like their shoes, their hair. Like, one,
You have to pop
yeah,
at least 2 people. You have to pop at least
okay?
2 people the
At
first
least
round.
2. At least 2.
Okay.
So, y'all, I'm going to sidetrack us for a little bit. There was a woman that came out absolutely gorgeous. She had on what the guy thought was a weave. He popped his balloon because he said he could see the lumps of her braids. Y'all, this lady took off her wig. She's bald headed. I just wanted to let you know that I don't have no braids here. And she's going for the hair. And the men was like, do it. So she took it off and they were like, damn. Because she looked bomb. Like she went from like an A to
without
A.
the wig. So she
Absolutely
looked better
bomb.
without the wig.
Without the wig. Bomb.
Oh.
She was already cute though. But anyway, going back to the PBS guy, you know, as we were talking about our breadcrumb episode, it was making me think about this Pop the Balloon show where you're literally, in any dating show, you're literally putting yourself out there to be judged. And so it was making me think about, how do people be thinking about me when they see me? Right? Like, what comes to their mind? But Donika, you're not familiar with this show, huh?
I am. I was just, okay, so I've seen clips of it. Last night, me, Sandria, and Jaya, there was 2 of my friends. We was over here, and Sandria put on 20 versus 1. That's another type of Pop the Balloon, but it's a little different. And in my opinion, all those shows, I can't take it serious. Everything is it's for entertainment purposes. It's funny. I feel like that one, the Pop the Balloon, is supposed to be a little bit more serious, but I feel like you're judging people off these very like basic, very small details. It shows like how what's the word I'm looking for? Not cynical. It shows how vain we really are. You know, like, because like you just said, so you talking about somebody tucking their shirt in, like, I don't know you. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Fair enough, you knew you was going on this show, so you did have some time to prepare, but I don't know you. So I don't judge completely off that. So to see that, like, some of the stuff that people say, it just be like, ew, people really be out here thinking like this. I don't like it. And I think it's for entertainment purposes, meaning like, it's like how me and you laughing. I feel like it's supposed to be funny, and it's funny when you watch it. Like, I can't watch that stuff by myself because it's not as funny. It's fun when I'm watching it with somebody else, because then we like, did you see that? We get to talk. Yeah. But by myself, I start feeling like I'm losing brain cells, if I'm being honest. I start feeling like, because to me, it's like, it's not representative of the type of person I am or aspire to be. And it makes me sad that people are like that, like, I mean, wait, geez, you gonna pop this person's balloon because their wig was lumpy? Like, is it really lumpy? I've seen people pop the balloon. They said, "Oh, you don't have your nails done. You have on black. You have on all black." What the, like? I can't take it serious, but it's funny for me. I'm thinking of, but I haven't watched the whole thing. So tell me this: do people really find love, or not even love, right? Because you just getting started. Do people really find a date?
Yes, people do really find a date. So there's an after show. And the after show basically is a recap. It'll be like a month or 2 later. Where have they gone? And you're making me think about, there was this one couple that I absolutely loved. So they looked really nerdy, and so it was a guy. He comes out, he had dirty shoes, hair was everywhere, and the girl's like, pop, pop, pop. But he was cute. And this one girl was like, I don't. And then he talked about how he enjoyed playing video games. They were like, oh, hell no, we don't do men with video games. And this one girl, she was not popping. And then they're like, why aren't you popping? She was like, for one, I don't care what you have on. And for 2, I want to play the video games with you. What do you play? And they played the same video games, girl. And they both like anime. And then when they had the recap, they were basically talking about how, they've been hanging out ever since. Like, they really enjoy being with each other. So I think that it could be a hit or miss, because there's been some where the couple has been like, yeah, we were not a good match. But it's people like that are a good match. So, yeah, I love it.
I like that. I like that after. I like to see that those after pieces, because what is all of
Yeah,
this for? Why are you
right,
putting people through this? Like,
right.
is this something good on the other side? So that's actually nice to hear.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so, as you were sharing, like, you don't watch things that are not parallel to who you are, you're making me think about how I consume TV. If you see what I watch, you would be like, Myra, this
Clearly.
is what you watch? Like, huh? And so, I want to go back to just regular television. One of my favorite shows is Reba. And whenever I tell people that, they be like, Reba, like the country singer? And I'll just be like, yeah, my roots are playing it in my past. Reba. Yes, I'm watching Reba. And so I love Reba. It's just
No,
something about like what'd you say?
I said me too. Hmm.
What?
Yes,
I
yes.
did not know that. Tell me more. Why do you like Reba?
I mean, I grew up on the show. I think, and that's what I'm thinking of now. Like growing up, I feel like I consumed a lot more TV.
Mhm,
So Reba's an old show. I think
mhm.
I noticed they did put it on Netflix, but
Yep.
now it's like I don't watch it to. It's not like a sitcom where it's coming on every week. It's like I've already seen all these episodes, so it's just rewatching it. Like, dang, Reba was going through it. That whole family. When you watch it now, that family dynamic was messy. The humor, all these dark situations, like, but also the privileges because they
Yeah.
had money.
Mhm.
But like it just looks different now.
Yeah.
But no, I'm all the older TV shows, even the stuff that's probably like, Donika, you watch that? Most likely I did because I feel like we in community, we all watched the shows. They came on every week. It was a whole thing, like, oh, you see the new episode of this. Versus now it's not like that. I mean, well, it is. I think it's just too much. Like even how you talking about a YouTube show is this show is it's so many shows that
Yeah.
more than likely we not gonna be watching the same show at the same time. And then
Mhm.
sometimes we might watch a show and then you watch it later, like years later, because we have access to shows that when you had regular cable, you didn't have that. You can
Right.
go watch a Reba episode from 20, like that wasn't a thing. So if I told you about Reba, like, oh yeah, I love this show, you would have to go buy a DVD if they have it. Um, so I think it's different. But anyways, getting back to Reba, you love her. She has nothing. She has nothing to do with you. She's nothing like you.
Right. I love Reba completely. And as you were sharing, it's so interesting how we have very different experiences of how we consume TV because you were saying that y'all watch certain things in community. When it came to my family, we watched like the same three movies. Or yeah, three movies in one show. So 106 in Park was always playing at my grandma's house. Soul Food, the movie, not the show, Friday, and then it would be some random Disney thing sprinkled into there, and those are always on repeat. Oh no, my bad. Sanford and Son was always like mixed into there. And so I say that to say when I was a kid, adult television was very isolated. So, like, for example, my mom would be up late, maybe watching like Law and Order, something I was not interested in, or like Desperate Housewives, or like a Sex in the City, something I'm not supposed to be consuming. Same thing when I would go to my dad's house. My stepmom would wait till we were asleep, and then I would happen to go through the living room to go to the kitchen to get something and see she was watching something, but she would quickly turn it down or like pause it. And so that was a lot of my like childhood of I watch Disney Channel, I watch Nickelodeon. Maybe I sneak and watch something I'm not supposed to be watching, but thinking about like they're watching these shows that are so good. And so now, and even like in my 20s, I found myself being like, I'm gonna watch all the shows that I wasn't able to watch. So like Desperate Housewives has become one of my favorite shows because I wasn't able to watch that. Or I can't think of another show, but a lot of the shows that like were consumed by the adults in my life, they would like be like, you can't watch this. So now
Mm.
I watch those shows because I can watch it freely. So it's just interesting how we consume television.
Yeah, no, that is a good point. Do you think that, especially you as a parent, do you think that's a good way of handling like all these different shows? Like, should you limit the consumption of the types of things that your child watches?
I think yes and no. I think it's dependent on how the show impacts the child. Because one thing I will say that I really love about my mom wasn't as strict with TV, but my mom was very much so like they're having sex. This is not something that you need to be doing. This is why. But a penis goes into a vagina. You want to use a condom if you're going to do this, blah, 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 blah. Whereas with my dad and my stepmom, it's like, no, like you can't see that. Like they were like frantic about it. So I do think that, of course, parameters around. I'm definitely at the point where I monitor what she watches, but I'm more so like, I don't want you watching nothing that's like creepy, scary, harmful, things like that. But I do think continuing to monitor as kids go on and just letting them know like what's happening. Because I've always known a penis goes into a vagina. Like I feel like that is so important to make sure that our kids know, or they're using a gun. We shouldn't be using guns to harm people. That's one thing my mom was like on top of. Like she's gonna tell me this is what's happening, this is how it's happening. And when I would tell my friends, they'd be like, "How do you know that? My mom didn't tell me that."
No.
So I do, being
Shout
mindful
out
about
to your mom. Your mom has had a lot of powerful moments as a parent.
Yes.
Like the communication. That's what I'm hearing. Like, okay, if your child does watches this, are you communicating with them about
This is
what
what's
they
happening.
watch? Yes. How is this making you feel? This show, we just seen somebody die. Like pieces. Like, yeah, know your mom, that communication piece.
Yeah.
That's gold.
Yeah, most definitely. And so those are, some of the shows I'm thinking of that have had an impact. And as we wrap up, I'm curious if there is like a show that maybe that was my question. Is there a show, it could be old or new, that like you really enjoy and it got canceled and you're like, why are they canceling this show? Because there's been a lot of talk over the past 2 to 3 days about these Black shows consistently getting canceled. And why is it that, like the show Unprisoned, that's a really good show, people really like that show, and it's getting canceled and people are like, what happened? The same thing with Black Cake. It's so good, why is it getting canceled? And so that brings up the question for me of, is there a show that you've gotten into or that you previously enjoyed and it got canceled?
I can't think off the top of my head that any. No, because I think a lot of shows that I watch nowadays are shows that have been around for either a while, and I'm just now watching them. Okay, so a show, for instance, is like I'm watching The Shy right now. I'm just now watching that. People have seen it. Like it was it. Is it still going? Is that canceled? That's not canceled, is it? What's the other show? Is Power getting canceled? Yeah, that one's getting canceled, right? You don't know.
I don't watch those shows.
Oh, okay. Snowfall. You watched that? Did you?
My cousin's on it, so I dibbled and dabbled and watched it.
And so basically, I didn't watch it. I still actually have a few episodes left, but it's there's no going to be no more. But sometimes shows do come to an end of like, what else do you really need to talk about? Like, how else you can spend this? In those situations, to me, it makes sense. I think that in the ones where it's like, this was really good, what happened here? I can't think of none of those right now because the shows I watch, like I'm saying, they usually have already been around. Like, for instance, I watched like RuPaul's Drag. Like I watch a lot of competition shows. RuPaul's Drag Race, Survivor. That's been around forever. Like it's so many episodes. A show I'm watching right now that if it did get canceled, I would feel some type of way about is Reasonable Doubt. If you haven't seen that, look. And I'm usually, again, like I said, I usually watch shows once they've been released. Reasonable Doubt was released like a year ago or something, and I didn't hear anything about it, but this new season with Morris Chestnut.
I've heard such a good thing.
This new season with Morris Chestnut, it has drawn a lot of new consumers to the show, including me. This Myra, like this is one of those dialogue shows, when you watch and you like, girl, did you like I'm excited for every episode to be released. It is so good. So if they cancel this show, I would be mad. Unless it's a wrap up and a good wrap up. Oh, Insecure. That's a perfect example. Yes. To be honest, fair enough. Y'all can wrap this up. Like we've seen it. it's only so much more you all can talk about. Where there's a lot you could talk about, but in retrospect to Issa Rae and her life, so they can make a whole nother series and take this and do that. They can do some stuff with it afterwards. But as far as the show Insecure, okay, I can see that. And then they wrapped it up. Still some questions, right? But I'll take it. I'll take that wrap up. Um, yeah. Yeah. What about you? What are you thinking of like, especially like you said, these black shows that keep
Now
getting
you make
canceled?
me think about the anger behind the ending of the show.
What's it called?
Like when you think about like Girlfriends, like that ended so
Oh,
weird.
it
I feel
was.
like
Oh
they
my
did
goodness.
and then that web of shows, like Brandy related to Moesha, and then Moesha being related to Girlfriends because Niecy's cousins with Maya, and then Girlfriends being tied to the game. Like that just
Oh
like blew my mind because I'm like, y'all not making no solid connection here. And then the way these shows ended was just like, it didn't really make any sense. Like with Girlfriends, I felt like they should have ended it a little bit earlier and really wrapped it up, as
yeah.
opposed to like, they didn't really want to pay Tony the money that she was asking. So she exited the show. And then they were like scrambling because they had made this whole storyline around Tony and Todd. And then they were like struggling to keep it moving forward. Then they tried to shift and focus on Joan and, Homeboy trying to make it work. It was just, it pissed me off because I was like, this is not how we should be ending this show. So yeah, shows like that. But I will say the new show Unprison is one that I really, really, sorry, y'all hear my daughter asking me questions. She's I'm doing something. I don't know why she's talking. But anyway, the show Unprison is so good. Kerry Washington.
Oh, I haven't seen it. Yeah, I haven't seen that.
It's so good. I don't understand why it's ending. Sorry, y'all.
Answer that, baby. Answer that, baby.
So, are you gonna watch Unprison?
I will. I will. And I'm surprised that was canceled because I have heard nothing but good things about it. Kerry Washington, I want to say she's also one of the producers of Reasonable No, not Kerry Washington. Is it Kerry Washington? It's somebody who's a producer of Reasonable Doubt that's like in the realm. Kerry Washington getting her coins. I don't know. I think it's just so many shows. It's so many. The production of shows right now is just so many. So I think that, I mean, it's messed up to say, but if they're gonna cancel some shows, then they're gonna most definitely come for the black people first, right? Because why not cancel all those other random shows that, like, why are they there? Yeah, it's messed up, but it is true.
But watch these shows while you can, because they also be just randomly removing shows too. Like what?
I can't stand that.
I hate that.
Then I be over here looking for it and stuff, trying to find it.
I'm still trying to find Soul Food, the show. I'm still watching it on YouTube.
You cannot find that nowhere. Like,
and it's so good. It's a high quality show. It's a full hour. Like the storyline is impeccable. I'll take Soul Food the show over the movie. I really like it.
I think as a show, Soul Food the movie is a good family movie overall. Other than I mean, it's a lot of, it shows the the messiness sometimes of a black family, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had the big mama who passed away, the health concerns, nobody really taking it serious. You had the money issues as far as like it's that one person stressing themselves out trying to take care of the family. You had the cheating, the infidelity between another family member, all the things. Like it showed the messiness, but also showed the beauty of like coming together in community and how we love food and food always brings us back together.
It did.
The show was like, it was a show.
Yeah, it was really
good. Like, but that and the Soul Food, the show, that's not a family in my opinion. Like I wouldn't watch that with my nieces and like, no, we don't need to watch that.
No.
That's an adult show in my opinion. But I was watching it as a kid, definitely. But looking back at some of that stuff, like, yeah, that wasn't the as kid friendly as I would say. Yeah. So you need to watch Reasonable Doubt, and I'll watch Unprison, and then we'll come back and talk about those.
I am, yeah. All right, y'all. Well, that is it for this week's episode of Black Women Healing Podcast. We hope you enjoyed just hearing how TV impacts our reality, our thoughts, and how we're thinking. And y'all watch Reasonable Doubt with us and tell us how you like it. All right, y'all. That's it for this week's episode.